All right, I am back with a brand new movie review. And this morning, first up, I have Merry Little Batman, which is a cartoon set in the DC universe, streaming exclusively on Amazon Prime. And I watch this movie so that you don't have to. No, I'm just kidding. In fact, I was a little surprised by this movie. So I went into watching this morning expecting to hate this film. And I think this is probably the best way to go into every DC film now, is just assuming you're going to hate it, and maybe you'll get more out of it than you expected to. But all I knew going into this is that I did not like the art style, okay? And for the first few minutes, the art style did bug me. It basically looks like a storybook that you would have read in kindergarten or first grade. It's that type of art. It's kind of goofy, kind of off the wall, but you get used to it after a while. What I really liked, though, was the environment. I didn't so much like the characters, but I liked the environments. I think a Batman world set, in this kind of a atmosphere would be cool for the background and everything, but you get used to it after a while. And by the end, I didn't mind it so much. And basically, I'm going to do this as spoiler-free as possible, but this starts out with Batman and his son Damian Wayne is 8 years old and is not a superhero. So they don't even really talk about where he came from. All we know about Batman is he's got a beard. He stopped about 2 years prior to this. He had cleaned up Gotham because when he found out he was going to have a son, he wanted to make it as safe as possible, and there hasn't been any crime in several years, so he hasn't had the need to be Batman. When all of a sudden, on Christmas Eve, he gives his son a fake utility belt. And it looks real, but it doesn't have the real gadgets in it, which upsets his son. And then Batman gets called away, and it becomes kind of a Home Alone type of movie for the first half, and then Damian Wayne has to go outside Wayne Manor and go deal with some stuff as well as Batman. And it's basically an adventure that they go on Christmas Eve. So what's interesting is the voice cast here. There was one character I did not like. The Joker was played by David Hornsby. Now I'm not sure who he is, what else he's done, but I really did not like his take on the Joker at all. It was annoying. And I know the Joker is supposed to be annoying, but this wasn't annoying in a good way. Now, I think the real breakout star of this film was Giannis Khabib. He played Damian Wayne. He did a great job as an 8-year-old Damian Wayne. He sounded great. His lines were convincing. He did a great job. You also have James Cromwell. He's the other one people might know. He played Alfred Pennyworth. And I could only tell it was James Cromwell. One part towards the end of the film. Outside of that, he did a great job playing Alfred Pennyworth. And then you have Luke Wilson, who played Bruce Wayne. Now, I wouldn't necessarily pick Luke Wilson to play Bruce Wayne, but he's supposed to be a more softer, more parental type of Batman in this film because he hasn't fought in several years. And he does keep his beard throughout the movie, which is kind of funny. And, there's a myriad of other villains in this, and I'm not going to list all of them so you can be surprised in the film. But let's talk about this film. So first of all, right now on IMDb, this has a 94% rating by critics. Now, it's only been rated by 18 people. Usually that's not a good sign. That usually means there's going to be something in it that is pushing some kind of a political agenda. I'm happy to say there's no political agenda in this film at all. This is a straight-up Batman adventure, and it's done in kind of a goofy way, but it's a fun, goofy way. I didn't hate it. It's definitely made for little kids. If you're a DC fan, as an adult like I am, you'll get some enjoyment out of it, but it's definitely geared towards little kids. Now, knowing that, there is one scene in the film I didn't really care for, and it's when Damian ends up putting on a bat suit, and it kind of hugs around his body and shrinks to his size, and they actually show his butt, and it squeezes up into the butt. And, it being a kid's show, I think that was completely inappropriate. It did not need to be in the cartoon. Outside of that one scene, I actually enjoyed the rest of the movie. And, the viewers on Rotten Tomatoes give it a 74%. Now, I'm still going to continue to bring up Rotten Tomatoes, even though you cannot trust anything that they put on there anymore. All of the ratings have been skewed. Ratings have been bought and paid for in the past, and you just can't trust what you see on Rotten Tomatoes. But what is a good indication, though, is usually the audience score versus the critic score, and audiences are at 74%. So it's kind of a mediocre film. Now, at the end of the day, as an adult, I give this movie a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's enjoyable. I might catch it again at some point in the future, when I'm not reviewing it and having to pay as close attention, to just kind of have it on in the background and just have fun with it. But I think kids are really going to enjoy this movie if they're a Batman fan. Now, the one thing that I thought was kind of interesting is, Damian being 8 years old, he has no superhero skills at the beginning of this movie. He doesn't even understand the superhero life, and that's not the way it was in the comic book. So this is it's an elseworlds story that does not take place in any type of continuity other than the fact that Batman has a son named Damian Wayne. So if you guys have seen this movie, what did you think? I thought it was a pleasant film. It was fun to watch, and I think kids will get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Outside that one scene, I thought it was pretty well done. All right, so there's my review on Merry Little Batman, which is playing on Amazon Prime. I will see you with a formal DC update later today. I do appreciate the support. We'll see you on the next video.